On the first day of our tour, I travel a little over 30 miles and Bill a little over 60 miles from our homes to our campsite on Bald Eagle State Park. And here's Bill at his house getting ready to go on the ride. He lives in Altoona and has about 30 miles to pedal to get to my house. I've recently been on antibiotics, sensitive to the sun, so here I am all geared up to ride with Bill at my house. And now we're headed northeast on Highway 220 towards Bald Eagle Lake. We're waiting at one of Bill's friends' houses to replace a broken pedal on Bill's bicycle. After getting the pedal fixed, Bill and I are back on Highway 220, just west of the Milesburg exit, heading towards the Bald Eagle Lake and our campground for the night. And here we're headed off of 220 and down into the Bald Eagle State Park. Bill's pointing at the office over there. It's a beautiful state park. We'll make a left right down here to head to the modern campground. This road gets kind of rough. You can see my front handlebar bag is bouncing around there a little bit. The dump site's off to our left and overflow parking to our right. And these entry stations are no longer manned. You either make reservations online or pick up an honor slip there. But we have site number 9 reserved. We did it online.
Check 10 because you couldn't register for it, but I wonder if they hold back a lot of sites. Yeah. Well, you couldn't do either one of these, but there are people in there, see.
You can see for Thursday, it's pretty full.
Yeah, yeah. You had a good wrench. Yeah, but I could not register for that.
We oftentimes say in Site 8, which is right there, but you couldn't get it online.
Yeah, we have 9.
And here we are at our campsite number 9. Got a nice little tree.
Anyway. This is nice back here. Yeah. Yep.
And here we have our tent set up, and you can see the shade the tree's providing for us. I am so thankful for the shade because of the sun sensitivity that I have.
Here we are
at Camp Bald Eagle. Got the clothesline out. No set Bob, he's doing all his calculations. Gonna figure this out. Coming around, here we go. My tent. A refrigerator right there at the bottom of the tree. There's Bob's tent. So everything went fine today. Wind a little windier than we thought. Well, it's all over the place. Have a good one. We'll get back to you.
A little cottontail was eating grass near the bicycles almost all afternoon. I hope you can see them in this photo. Wouldn't let me get too close with my iPhone. On day 2, we're traveling from our campsite at Bald Eagle State Park up to Little Pine State Park, just under 40 miles. Here Bill and I are cutting off 150 and 220 down some old country roads, trying to get to Bald Eagle Mountain Road, which will take us into Mill Hall. We notice our first birds getting together for migration. A big flock. Just coming up here in just a second. There you see it.
Yep, boy, that's a big one. This time of year.
It's a nice, quiet road.
Yeah. It is nice.
And here we are in Mill Hall, headed towards Lock Haven. I've always hated this bridge because there's absolutely no shoulder and oftentimes a lot of traffic. Riding over some railroad tracks in Lock Haven near the a railroad art gallery. And then we are heading for downtown and a place to have our second breakfast. This is the Texas Lunch Restaurant where Bill and I are going to have our second breakfast. Bill had pancakes and eggs and sausage, and I had a Greek yogurt parfait with Diet Coke. And now we're headed east out of Lock Haven on River Road. They were growing a lot of soybeans here. River Road eventually gets us down by the west branch of the Susquehanna River. It's very beautiful down here. And again, it was nice for me because we're riding mostly in the shadows. We're back on Highway 150, just west of Avis, and Bill notices a man drop his wallet as he's getting into his car at this service station. Like a good citizen, Bill turns around and tells the man about the dropped wallet, and there he picks it up. We are now on the west section of Avis, Pennsylvania, and we're going to go through Avis and then turn onto Highway 44 up towards Pine Creek. And here Bill took a couple of iPhone photos of Pine Creek as our bridge crosses Pine Creek on Highway 44. And here we're headed up Highway 44, and we will cross over and get on the Pine Creek Rail Trail up to Waterville, Pennsylvania, where we will then head up a road to our Little Pine campground. And here we are crossing our first railroad trestle over the Pine Creek. We're on the Pine Creek Rail Trail. Beautiful trail, premier trail in the United States, incredibly well maintained. And the scenery is just remarkable. It really is. The Pine Creek is way down right now, but it is still a magnificent ride on this trail.
Right there. Grass. Yeah.
Here we are approaching our second railroad trestle over Pine Creek, and there's going to be a young lady swimming down there. You'll see her in the water. Her boyfriend is standing on one of the banks.
Now that looks nice.
And we think he's not doing a very good job being a boyfriend. Anyway, Bill and I have to stop. The water is crystal clear.
Yeah, pretty good size hole.
There you can see her a little bit out there in the water, just in the lower right-hand corner of this frame.
And you can see down there pretty.
I'm going to take the camera out of its bracket on my handlebars. There you can see her swimming.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a great swimming stroke.
Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? All right.
This is Matlin Nepper. When we got to our Pine Creek State Park, Little Pine State Park, we found that there were no campsites available at all. The Eastern States 100, which is a 103-mile foot race, almost all of it on the trails through the forest. It was going on and starting really at Little Pine, and all the campsites were full. This young lady, after Bill asked, allowed us to pitch our tents in her campsite. She was a real trail angel. So Bill and I pitched our tents, and then we walked over to a nearby restaurant and had massive hamburgers. They were large, a massive hamburger for supper. We then came back, went to bed, and at about 5 o'clock that morning, this is what happened. The runners started from the Eastern States 100. Again, it's a 103-mile foot race, And the people here are not novices. They have to qualify. This is not come if you want. This is you have to qualify for this race. So they're going to run 103 miles on the Mid-State Trail, the Pine Creek Trail, several other forest roads and trails. It is a massive undertaking. And here they are, all of them with their headlights on. It's totally dark out. I'm in my tent just holding my iPhone up to a vent hole in the front door, watching them go by probably about 25, 30 yards away. Beautiful. A very hard race. On day 3, we're just making a return trip from Little Pine State Park back down to Bald Eagle Lake. This was our campground as we left it at Little Pine. And this is Bill and I getting ready to get on our bikes and hit the trail. Here we are pedaling down Little Pine Creek Road down towards the Pine Creek Trail we'll pick up in Waterville. And here we're on the Pine Creek Rail Trail, and this is the most open section I know of on the entire trail. You could just see how well though this trail is maintained. It's beautiful to ride on. You can probably ride on this on road bike tires. Back over our trestle again. This time, no girls swimming.
On your left. On your left.
And now we're back on River Road, headed down towards our campsite at Bald Eagle State Lake. When we checked for campsites at the modern campsite area, there were none available. So here we're crossing the bridge over the lake at the, I'll say the western end of the lake, headed down into Howard and on into the primitive campsite area. We're not going to have a shower tonight. No flush toilets. It's going to be pretty primitive. No electricity. So we're going to spend some time right now in this video giving you the whole tour through Howard and on over to the primitive campground site. The stop signs just never seem to coordinate with the way we're riding. You just get stopped and they turn green. If they would have done it a half a second earlier, you wouldn't have had to have stopped.
Come on.
Now my gears weren't shifting just quite right there. I don't know why I missed gears. That bike, I ride a Kona Sutra, and it has worked flawlessly on trip after trip. I really love that bike. Carries loads wonderfully, and as I say, it's been flawless on thousands of miles. Howard's just kind of a little bedroom community for State College, I believe. There's really nothing going on here at all, except the lake. That darn Bill, he's really pushing ahead of me. This has been a little over a 40-mile day. We should have checked for campsites, or at least reserved a campsite back at the modern area, but we didn't do it. And here we are on a gravel road going back into the primitive area. Made a couple of turns that you didn't see. Rough, washboardy, not what you'd like. Now, to get this kayak to water, these young people have to find a path and walk down over railroad tracks, up a little tiny hill, and back down to the lake. I'm guessing it's probably about, they're probably going to do over a quarter mile with that kayak on top of their heads. Of course, I was going down a one-way road the wrong way. Cars were nice to me. They weren't so nice, Bill said. Just checking out a little campsite here. We're looking for someplace to stay, and we don't know that the host hasn't put out the tags for the day yet. So the first thing we do is choose a site that we actually can't stay in. We're almost unloaded from our bikes when we're told that we're going to have to move. But we do find a site. I'm glad it wasn't this one. As you can hear, this is a pet area, and there was a dog that was barking constantly in this area.
There we are. We had the regular campground was full, so we had to head for the mountains. Found the picnic table over in the, I guess it would be the primitive campgrounds. They're not bad. Whoa. Not bad. Everything turned out okay here. Well, I've got set up. I'm set up. There's a little bit of shell underneath the tents. But other than that, it's pretty good shape. Just cooking a cup of coffee and go have some raisin fields.
Well, we had a good night's sleep, and on day 4, this ride is really not very eventful. I'm going to do just over 30 miles, and Bill's going to do just over 60 miles back to our homes. Here, we're just simply riding back over the bridge over Bald Eagle Lake, and then we will be headed straight home. Nothing new. So we'll end the video right here. Thank you very much for sticking with us and watching. Bye-bye.